Hello folks, and welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel, whatever the case may be. From this angle, hopefully you can tell that I'm using my tripod and not my speaker. My speaker's over here, so I'm giving my tripod another go. This is WIP and Chat. I don't know why I explain what it is, because, well, you can tell from the title, which of course happens after the recording of the video. But anyways, yeah, so WIP and Chat, I'm doing the butterfly lady for my friend, and I guess I wanted to come on here and just explain a few things about what happened with my last video, because oh my goodness, that was a disaster with that last video. The reason it's in two parts, well, I reached over to turn the volume down on my laptop, and my arm bumped the screen on my phone that was recording, and yeah, it stopped recording. So I figured, what the heck, it'll give me a chance to try editing and try and put the two videos together. Well, as you can tell, that didn't work. I had hoped that I would be able to do it, and it didn't work. Yeah. So, anyways, then and then it cut short. It ended short. It ended briefly. Yeah, it ended suddenly because the, the phone died. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the battery died. So yeah. So then I plugged it in and waited for it to charge up before I took both videos and transferred them onto my laptop and tried to combine the two together through YouTube Studio. That didn't really work. So I'm like, alright, screw it. And I just posted them, part 1, part 2. And there you go. Yeah. I was late for my live stream this morning because, well, I pulled an all-nighter because I wasn't tired until like in the morning. Yeah, so I figured I'd lay down and rest my back and maybe, hopefully, not fall asleep. Well, that didn't work. Resting my back helped, but then I drifted off. I have little things that I do that to try and prevent me from, if I do fall asleep, they prevent me from sleeping for too long. And one of those things is I leave the light on, not in the bedroom, but I leave a light on out here, right by the entry of the hallway. The hallway. Yeah. Yeah, like almost right, just a few minutes into watching Jill's live stream today, I get a message on Facebook Messenger from my daughter, and of course I go into full-blown mom mode, monster mom mode, because she's like, well, looks like I might have to move back to BC. It's like, what now? Yeah. So I do have her permission to talk about what's going on with her. Because I told her I wouldn't say anything because it's her place. If she wants to say something, she can come on one of my live streams and on my Sunday live stream and talk about it. Because that's what Serious Sunday is for. It's for talking about serious things and whatnot. But yeah, as soon as she messaged me and said it looked like she was going to have to move back to BC, I did not message her back. I phoned her. I called her on Facebook Messenger, and then I posted on on Jill's live in the chat there, I'm like, family emergency. Yeah. I turned the volume down, so it was still playing, so her live was still going, but I turned the volume down so I could talk with my girl, with Wolfie, and see what was going on, get her hear what's going on, all that stuff. And I call, she answers. I couldn't get a word out of her for the first couple of minutes because she was crying. She was so upset, and I'm like, what's going on? But I didn't pressure her to talk immediately because, like, she's so much like me. Every so often I'd be like, okay, okay, what's going on? Yeah. And then I waited. And then she shared a screenshot of a message from her fiance. And yeah, needless to say, I was ready. I was like, not happy. Not happy. And so she managed to calm down enough to tell me what's going on, and of course, in the meantime, everybody in Jill's live is like, oh, is something, they're worrying that there's something wrong with me, of course, because all I said was family emergency. I know I said something else, I can't remember. But yeah, they yeah, anyways, yeah, I eventually said that it's not me, it's Wolfie talking to her on the phone. And yeah, but yeah, there's problems going on in her relationship. I'm not going to go into too much detail because, like I said, it's up to her to say out just how much. She did give me carte blanche to say to speak, but yeah, unfortunately, the guy is he's gotten used to her being there and doing all of this stuff for him, and yeah, and he's not putting he's yeah. Anyways, yeah, he messaged her and said that like they've got this friend that he helps out with her job. He doesn't get paid for helping her with her job. He helps her with the kid, with her 2 kids while she's doing this job. And now apparently he's been talking lately about having kids, the 2 of them having kids, and even though he's also like not sure if he would be a good dad because he's worried that he's going to turn out to be just like his dad. There's a lot of guys out there that are like that. There's a lot of girls that are like that with like, oh, I don't want to grow up, I don't want to have kids because I'm worried I might end up being just like my mom. And, well, my daughter has gone through some pretty traumatizing things in her past, and with her, like, she suffers from depression and anxiety just like me, and her father. But he's also got PTSD, and so do I. Thankfully, yeah, she does too. She's had some pretty bad stuff happen to her in the past, and she really is not comfortable with kids, or babies, and so she's very reluctant about having kids of her own. Early on in their relationship, they did talk about possibly having kids at some point down the line. And I told her today, like, yeah, I used to be that way. with other people's kids. Surprise, surprise, I used to babysit, but I always felt like that with other people's kids. Like, I was very nervous and uncomfortable with other people's kids. And it wasn't until I had her that I started being more comfortable with other people's kids. And yeah, it was through having my own daughter, my own child, that made me be able to handle other people's kids better. But like when it came to other people's kids, I was more nervous about being around their kids when they were around. When the parents were not around, it was easier, because it's like the adults aren't around to judge and criticize how I am around their kids. Not that I was any different whether they were there or not. I was just more relaxed when the parents weren't there. Because like when the parents were there, I was very nervous about certain things when it came to watching kids, like not like telling them not to do something, or asking them to do something, like not do something bad and to help with something good, or what have you. And I was always nervous about like the parent possibly accusing me of overstepping my bounds when it came to the kids. And not that I did anything wrong, it was just, I just always had this, not necessarily overwhelming fear, but I did have a fear of doing something or saying something wrong that the parent would misinterpret. And with little kids, they don't care. Whereas the adults, they could take it the wrong way, and I wouldn't be able to explain myself very well, and lose the babysitting job. Yeah. So it was just a fear that I had. I had lots of babysitting jobs when I was growing up. Not tons, but not lots. Well, I had a fair amount. I had a fair amount. And it was just always like that for me. I was always very nervous and uncomfortable about being around the parents and the kids. Once the parents were gone, it was easy peasy. Yeah. And then I had my own. Once I had my own, oh, forget it. It didn't bother me to be around the parent and the child. I would support the parent with whatever the kid, with whatever the parent said, up to a point, of course. When it came to the kid being good, doing something that they're supposed to do, and not doing something they're not supposed to do. And yeah, my last babysitting job, there were times when I was having to reprimand the parents. Yeah. But yeah, that's a whole other ball of wax. That couple, just, oh my God. It's because of them that that Wolfie's father and I ended up moving to the big city, a city that both of us swore we would never live in. And well, then we ended up moving there for work, and then the vid hit, And that just royally screwed things up. Oh my goodness. Because then there was no work. And yeah, it was just one thing after another. And oh my goodness. Yeah. Well, I guess in the end, I'm happy with where I am now in my life. I know what it would take for me to be happier, but I'm happy. I'm content for now. Yeah, for now. It would be nice to be able to afford to, like, buy a bigger, like, it would be cool if I could afford to, I'd like to be able to actually save up enough money to buy a bigger trailer. Like a travel trailer. And then, I was actually thinking about it when I woke up tonight. I woke up about 8 o'clock tonight because, yeah, I was still on the phone with my daughter when Jill's live stream ended. Yeah, we talked for like over 4 hours. I talked with her and calmed her down, and we talked and talked and talked and talked and talked. Something we haven't done in a while. Yeah, I talked with her until her fiance and their friend showed up, and at that point in time, I had been laying down for a little while, maybe half hour, 45 minutes, something like that, because my back and my tailbone were just killing me. Yeah, from sitting in this chair. I need a better chair. I need a comfy cushion for my chair. Actually, I should just grab a cushion and put it in my chair. I keep forgetting. I do have cushions. Anyways, anywho. Yeah, my bonus mom gave them to me. They go with the comforter. Anyways. Yeah, so yeah, when they showed up, we got off the phone, and I told her, yeah, just give me a call whenever, and let me know how things go. When I woke up, the first thing I did was I checked my phone, and I messaged her and I asked her how'd it go, and she said, well, we're gonna try and make it work. So, yeah, I explained to her, use I statements. And I bet some of you are, like, probably rolling your eyes. Yeah, they always say use I statements, and it's just dumb. It may sound dumb, but it works. Because if you use you statements, you do this, you don't do that, that person becomes very defensive and is more prone to be argumentative, and less likely to listen to what you have to say. You need to vocalize your feelings. I feel misunderstood. I feel like I'm not being heard. I feel like my views are not being acknowledged. Stuff like that. Ooh, those are good ones. I should have said those to her too. Now, you got to keep in mind, I had been up for I don't know. You can figure it out. I woke up yesterday morning, about half an hour into Jill's live stream, So her time, she starts at 2 p.m. So it was about 2:30 p.m. her time. And so that's about 11:30 a.m. my time. And then I fell asleep. I dozed off about shortly after 8 o'clock this morning. So not quite 24 hours, but I don't know, somewhere around 20 hours, something like that. I dozed, I dozed for oh goodness, almost an hour. So yeah, when and then I did my live stream, and then so I'd only been awake for a couple of hours after having that brief nap. So yeah. So we had a long conversation, and I pointed out a whole bunch of things about her father. Never referred to him as her father, and I even pointed that out. You notice I'm not calling him your father, because he lost that right and that privilege. Yeah, because he self-sabotages his relationships. Yeah. He had two friends that he had been friends with for over 20 years each. And in the last handful of years that he and I were together, he ended both of those friendships. One in particular, I understand why, because that guy, that was the previous owner of Peaches, and like he was living with us. He and Peaches had moved in and were living with us in this big, beautiful house. And then he just one day packed a bag and left Peaches behind, because he knew that Peaches would be in good hands, it being in my care. And each month, for the next 3 months, he was giving us, he would e-transfer me a little bit of money that was supposed to cover cat food and cat litter each month. But it was barely enough for cat food. And then the last month that we were in that house, he's like, yeah, I can't afford to send you any money for Peaches this month, but I will send you some next payday. And it's like, okay, yeah, not a problem, don't worry, yeah. And then a couple of days, 2-3 days later, he's like, oh, I thought I'd you're moving. Yeah, he's like, well, he offered to help us out financially by buying one of our Xboxes, since we were having to move and we were putting stuff into storage. And he's like, yeah, I'll buy one of your Xboxes off you. It's like, seriously? You claim that you can't afford to send money for food and cat litter for your cat that you abandoned, and yet you want to buy an Xbox? Yeah. Nope. Bye. And that was it. Haven't had anything to do with him since then. Yeah. Especially considering the condition of the room that when he moved out, the condition of the room that he had been living in, if you can call it living. That poor cat had a litter box, but no litter. Like, the whole time living in that house, there was no cat litter in that litter box. And yet Peaches was still using the litter box, because he was not allowed outside of the house. He was barely allowed outside of the bedroom. And this is in the middle of winter. The poor cat, that room stunk because no litter, right? Yeah, it stunk. So the litter box was in one corner. His food and water dishes were in another corner. The guy slept on I think he slept on a couple of cushions on the floor, or yeah, I think it was, yeah, he slept on a couple of cushions on the floor in the middle of the room. That was his bed. Because when he moved in with us, he had like nothing except for, yeah, he had a few pots and pans, and he had no furniture. He had no bed, because he had been living in this apartment, and he moved out of the apartment, and he got rid of all of his furniture because he moved into a friend's apartment, and he left his bed behind because of bed bugs. So she gave him a bed. She lived in a 1-bedroom apartment, but she put curtains up and blocked off the dining room and turned that into a bedroom for him, and got him a little bed. And then, but then when she kicked him out, she wouldn't let him take the bed. Or I can't remember if she was willing to let him have the bed or not, because we didn't have a truck at the time. We had a car, and there was no way that we could like really move the bed. Not that we had any room in the apartment that we were living in at the time for another bed, because we had it was a 2-bedroom apartment that we were in, and there was already somebody living in the other bedroom. So he slept on the couch, on the one couch in the living room, until we moved into this big, beautiful 3-bed, 3-bath house. Oh yeah, it was a beautiful house. It's like $1 million house with a beautiful view of the lake. Yeah. So anyways, yeah, so when he left, I went to the store and I bought cat litter. And like I scrubbed that litter box clean and then put it in the ensuite bathroom for our bedroom. And yeah, oh my God, that poor cat. That guy gave Peaches treats all the time, like multiple times a day. And I'm not talking about like 1 or 2. I'm talking about like a handful, like 20 or 30 little treats at a time. So like, no wonder he became fat and lazy. Yeah. Yeah, when we ended up moving out of that house, we had been unsuccessful in finding a new place to live because there were several strikes against us for living conditions. We had a cat, we had a puppy dog who was a pit bull mix. We all smoked. There was 3 adults. The 3 of us, we all smoked cigarettes. My ex, he also smoked weed. So yeah, and all 3 of us were on disability, and a lot of landlords, they don't want smokers, they don't want pets, they're not allowed to admit it, but they also don't want people on disability, because a lot of landlords, they don't see income assistance as a stable income, a reliable income. They see everybody that's on disability or income, they see people that are on disability as people on income assistance, even though it's so far from the same thing. And they just assume that everybody that's on assistance is lazy and they just need to get off their ass and go to work, but they choose not to. And well, he has a bad back, which is a permanent thing. He really screwed up his back. carrying a log. I don't know, like it was like 20 feet long. Like, I don't know, 80 pounds, 100 pounds, something like that, through the bush. And he stepped wrong and fell and pinched a nerve in his spine. And for so many years, doctors didn't believe him. And he couldn't get a doctor to listen to him or believe him. I took him to a doctor, an on-call, took him to a walk-in clinic. And that doctor did got him to do a few stretching exercises. And he's like, "You've got the flexibility of a ballerina." And he's like, "But I'm not as flexible as I should be." Because, yeah, he's like used to being a lot more flexible and agile. Because he used to do martial arts, and he's a big guy. Like, he's 6'2.5" and he was averaging about 230, 240. Now he's like, last time he weighed himself, he was 300 pounds, because yeah, he just got lazy. But he was finally, like, he was finally properly diagnosed with a pinched nerve in his spine, and he saw a specialist who gave him a cortisol injection, and it helped immensely. But he never went back for another cortisol injection because of the location of where he needed to get the cortisol injection, and because he has to get it like literally just above his tailbone, and that is a very extremely vulnerable position for him, laying on his stomach. Yeah. And for someone who has yeah, I don't know, I think he is a bit on the paranoid side because of his upbringing. Yeah. So yeah, he's a bit paranoid. So he thankfully is not as bad as another one of my exes. That guy is, yeah, he's someone, that ex, oh my goodness, that ex, he if he's in a restaurant, he has to sit with his back in a corner so he can face the rest of the room, so he can see all entrances and exits and see everyone that's in the room. Some people have accused him of having schizophrenia. He had a psychological assessment done one year by like three different psychological assessments done from 3 different specialists, like psychologists or psychiatrists or whatever, professionals. And I read the results of his assessment, and yeah, they read like you don't want to know this person, you want to stay away from this person, like, yeah, unpredictable, scary, but like but like sounds scary, but not really. I don't know. He's super intelligent, narcissistic. I could go on and on about that guy, but anyways, I digress. Yeah, back to my daughter. She seems to be doing better. But yeah, so I asked her if she's still interested. If she's interested, she could join my live stream tomorrow. My Serious Sunday live stream tomorrow. She said we'll be spending time together. And it's like, good. I really hope things work. I do. But of course, there are a lot of red flags in that relationship, unfortunately. I just really, really, really hope that they're able to work through them together. Because, yeah, that boy needs to grow up. Honestly, to put it bluntly, he needs to grow up and realize that he is in a serious, committed relationship where, like, he has to actually contribute to the relationship in order for it to work. And not just sit on his ass playing video games and expect her to do, like, pretty much everything. Which is what my relationship ended. My relationship ended on that note. A contributing factor to my relationship ending was him communicating with a girl from Germany who claims to have been a prawn star. Yeah. And yeah, and she was sending him pictures, and they were flirting and talking all the time, and behind my back. Yeah. For months. I knew that he was friends with this girl. Because they were online friends that played video games together. I knew that they talked a lot. Because of her past lifestyle, it was difficult for her to make and maintain friends, because guys just girls would overreact and not want to have anything to do with her once they found out what she used to do, and still apparently sometimes did. And guys just wanted pictures. And yeah, but my ex, he was not like that. He actually treated her like an actual human being. Yeah, and so, because he's like that with everybody. When he first meets people, that's how he is. He is a gentleman who respects women and is very, very protective of women, especially if he feels like they deserve protection and whatnot. And so yeah, he is a great guy, but just like anybody, he's got his flaws too. And yeah, he and I, we fought a lot over this particular girl, and it was just one of the many reasons why I just couldn't be with him anymore, because he stopped doing anything in the relationship. And when it came to the home life, doing stuff around the house, he left it to me. Like, he hardly ever left the bedroom. Oh, no more equals signs. Yeah, he'd leave the room to get coffee, or make coffee, and to cook, and use the bathroom. Because the arrangement that we had from the very beginning of our relationship was he did the cooking, I did the dishes. Because with his bad back, it was hard for him to stand in front of the kitchen sink long enough to do dishes. Well, I have issues when it comes to doing dishes. I am professionally trained to do for doing dishes. The majority of my jobs that I've done in the past was as a dishwasher. So I was like, I'm okay with doing dishes. I'm not a big fan of doing dishes at times. I like when doing dishes, if I'm in a relationship with someone and I'm doing dishes, it's nice for that particular individual to, like, hang out with me while I'm doing dishes and talk while I'm doing dishes. Or even help out with doing dishes. Like, I lived in Ontario for a few months, as some of you know, quite a number of years ago now. And the guy that I moved there to be with, he, that's what he was like. He would help me with the dishes. We did the dishes together. We cooked together. We did the dishes together. We cleaned together. Yeah. He's a natural comedian, naturally funny guy. Kids, and he loves kids. Kids love him. Tiny guy, like 4'9". Yeah. So really small. He was trying his hand at stand-up comedy because, well, yeah, he's naturally funny. But to be a stand-up comic, you gotta have a comedy routine. And there were times when he struggled with having a comedy routine. And yeah. Yes, I was happy with him, being with him. We never fought. He was great with Wolfie. He was great with my other two kids as well. But there was there were issues with the ministry trying to get my kids from their father, and yeah, with my ex-husband basically taking me to filing for custody of our two little ones. And so I couldn't fight from Ontario to get my kids back. I had to come back to BC, and coming back to BC ruined my relationship. And he found somebody else. We did keep in touch. He found somebody else, and but her family did not like him, did not approve of her relationship with him. She had cancer, and they were engaged. They were actually going to get married, even though, like, her kids did not like him. But from what he had told me about her kids, like, they were selfish, greedy bastards, to put it bluntly. And yeah, and unfortunately she had cancer and she passed away. And he was there with her, like, in the hospital and trying to take care of her. But he's a tiny guy, like I said, he's a tiny guy, and he likes big girls, and I cannot lie. And yeah, she was bigger than me. Yep. I've thought about reconnecting with him online just to, like, say, hey, how you doing, type stuff. And but he had changed his profile name on Facebook, so I can't remember, and I cannot remember what he had changed it to, so I can't find him. So yeah, I have been unsuccessful at reconnecting with him. Because it would be nice, like, it would just give me another someone else that I can talk to, like, on a regular basis. Because I like having people that I can talk to at any time. Like, anytime, day or night. And because of the time difference between here in Ontario and, like, yeah. But yeah. I have somebody from Ontario that I can chat with now. I got Lola. Lola. LOL. LOL. Lola. Every so often that song goes through my head. Normally I'm a better singer than that, but yeah. I used to be really good at singing. I can still carry a tune. I used to love to sing, and I used to have sheet music because I was in choir in high school. I was in the seniors choir for a little while. Unfortunately, I didn't have the best of vehicles at the time, and with everything else that was going on in my life at the time, it was hard for me to get to group often enough to keep up with it, which was disappointing because it was something that I really enjoyed doing. For a while, I was also a member of the Women's Writers Group. I can't remember if there were men that were, I think there was like one or two men that was in it too, but so I don't know why it was called the Women's Writers Group, but it was a writers group that I was in. And for some reason I keep thinking of it as Women's Writers Group, but yeah. Anyways, let's see, what else? What other groups was I in a part of? Well, I was a member of the Pythian Sisters, which is a sister branch of the Knights of Pythias. I was a member of that for, what, like 2-3 years? Something like that. Yeah. My dad was like, my stepmom had been a member for a few years, and he's like, well, yeah, why don't you join? And then the two of you would have something to do together. Go to meetings together and hang out together and whatnot. And it's like, yeah, okay. So I joined. And I had a great time. I really enjoyed it. I did. But it requires having money and your own vehicle because of all of the events that, just all of the stuff that were required to be a member, to be an active member. And because there were so few members, and there were so few members that I immediately ended up with a position, like an office. Yeah. And just, I guess you could say, dove headfirst type thing into participating and helping and all of that wonderful stuff. And the only reason why I was able to do as much as I actually did in the group was because my dad helped and my stepmom helped. And not long after having my second daughter, I had to quit though, because it was just, I couldn't keep up with the meetings and whatnot, on top of her health her medical appointments and all the medical stuff that I had to do with her and taking care of her. And yeah, so I had to drop out, quit, give up my position, and they were having a hard time with getting new members. I was the youngest member for the whole time I was a member. I was the youngest member. Everybody else was older than me by, I think the next youngest was like 10 to 15 years older than me. All the rest were like in their 60s and 70s, 50s, 60s, and 70s. Yeah. So I went to quite a few funerals while I was a member. Not just for members or fellow former members, but we also did catering. We did catering for a couple of funerals and for a wedding. Oh, the wedding, that one was a gong show. Because we ended up having to take that, it was the bride had hired the sisters to cater to to do the catering for the reception, and we had to take her to small claims court in order to get paid. They actually had to garnish her wages from her job in order to get paid for the catering that we did for her wedding reception. Like, how messed up is that? And that's in, like, my hometown that this happened in. And because she just kept saying, yeah, I'll pay you, I'll pay you when I get, I'll give you some money when I get my next paycheck. And, well, it was just the runaround for months. And they're like, finally, they just had enough and took her to small claims court. Yeah. Bloody ridiculous. Like, seriously? Yeah. But yeah, I did enjoy that. I was in this group called TOPS, which it's TOPS, stands for Take Off Pounds Sensibly. One of the ladies that was a member of the Pythian Sisters was also a member of TOPS. And she had actually been a good friend of my mom's when my mom was alive. She actually, yeah. Yeah, they were both in, my mom was also a member of TOPS. When she was alive, she actually, was the secretary or treasurer, I can't remember which, for TOPS. She was also a member of Kinnets, which is the sister group to the Kinsmen. And like, for any of you that are like scratching your heads going, Kinsmen, Kinnets, Knights of Pythias, it's like one of those organizations, like secret society type organizations, but not actual secret society stuff. Not really. Like the Lions and the Shriners, but not as big and widespread as either of those. But anyways, yeah, so my mom was a member. Well, this friend of my mom's that was in both TOPS and the Pythian Sisters when I was a member, her son, her youngest son, he was the one that eventually became my ex-husband, father to two of my children. Yeah. Yeah, she was a great woman, and I'm glad she I know it may sound cold and cruel, but I'm glad she wasn't around to see what ended up happening to her son, with her son, what he ended up doing. It is unfortunate that she passed away, but she had major health concerns, and she wasn't that good at taking care of her health. In the end, she ended up in an assisted living home. I'm chuckling because for like 20 plus years she lived in a 2-bedroom apartment in this one apartment building at one end of town, and like my ex-husband, when she moved into that apartment, he was still a kid, and he lived in that apartment with her, and then he grew up, moved out, and moved into his own apartment in that apartment building. and then when he and I got together, started dating, he was living in a different apartment in the same apartment building. Yeah, and then not long after he and I moved, we bought a trailer at the other end of town and moved into it, and she moved into this assisted living home, which was across just down the street from our place. Yeah. Unfortunately, her first night in that place, she was trying to make her bed herself, and she fell and ended up in the hospital. And yeah, she had MS. She had multiple sclerosis. She ended up having to get a quadruple bypass. And she was getting osteoporosis. Yeah, poor woman. Just, yeah, she was, yeah, she was in the hospital when I gave birth to my to his first child, our daughter, my second daughter. Yeah, and after I had our daughter, they actually had me in the room right next to her room, so my mother-in-law could shuffle her way over with her walker to my room to see her granddaughter. So I'm glad she was at least able to meet her granddaughter. But she passed away before she got to meet her grandson. Yeah. Yeah, it's sad that she did pass away before she got to meet her grandson. Because, yeah, before he and I actually started dating, she actually said to her son one time, in front of a friend of ours, she's like, yeah, I'd love to see you settle down with a girl like Mara. And it was actually his friend, our friend, because the guy was my friend as well as his friend. He told me, yeah, his mom said this and right in front of me to him, and I'm like, huh, I never really saw him in that light, like as like possible relationship material. And then after this guy said this to me, I got to thinking, and it's like, yeah, maybe I'll go over and I'll visit and see how things go, and maybe, possibly, it could work. We'll see. Yeah. Well, yeah. Unfortunately, I ignored all the red flags. Because I was tired of looking for love. I was ready to I was willing to settle with, yeah, I guess you could say it was kind of like a shortcut for me. being in a relationship with him, well, there was emotional stability, financial stability, because he had a really good paying job. He would give, yeah, he gave me gifts. He bought me gifts, and he was a great guy, but just not that great at other things, and relationship-wise, and, well, mental issues, psychological issues. And then the biggest red flag of them all that got him put in prison, and yeah, there were no warning signs, like seriously no warning signs at all. Because looking back, trying to think, were there any warning signs at all? And there were none. There were none that I can think of at all for what eventually put him into prison. Put him in prison. But yeah, we in the end, we just came to the realization that we were better off as friends, with occasional benefits. But that, yeah, that also ended real quick too. Yeah, but yeah, we were better off as friends. And now, nope, don't have anything to do with him, period, at all. I haven't for many years. And what really sucks is he keeps popping up in my dreams lately. Him and Wolfie's father. And I hate it. I do. But like, I cannot control my dreams, obviously. Yeah, these dreams in a way are upsetting, but what can you really do? Like, I think about the things that happen in my dreams, and it's like, well, how can I turn these dreams around, right? And stop having these particular dreams, or possibly change these particular dreams in some way, shape, or form. Yeah, there are certain dreams that I have that I really, really like, and wish that I could make them come true in one way or another. Like, I've had a few dreams where, like, my dad, the house, the half duplex that the second half of my childhood that we lived in for the second half of my childhood, and when I had Wolfie and whatnot, I have dreams of my ex, Wolfie's father, and I are living in that house with my dad and my stepmom. That's something else I wish I could change in my dreams, is my stepmom gone. Bye. Bye-bye. Because she, yeah, my dad recently revealed a few extra red flags about her from when they were married. But anyways, I have dreams about the two of them. They bought a house in a neighboring town, and they were going to gift a sign over the half duplex to us, so that we would have a place to live and we wouldn't have to, like, worry about rent and whatnot. Yeah, I keep wishing, but this particular house, he, in my dream, he did some fancy, made a fancy, garage, I guess you could say. There's like an underground garage. Like, the driveway the driveway suddenly tilts down, and then and then like tilts down enough so that you're going down towards a wall that turns out to be a giant door that slides open, and huge, massive underground complex underneath this place. Yeah, and it's like fully self-sustaining, and yeah, it's just quite the basement type underground complex, and it's attached to the house upstairs, up above, by an elevator, and yeah, it's just like I have weird dreams like that at times. K, the letter K. But yeah, I have periodically I'll have dreams about Wolfie's father leaving to go find work, or something, or just leaving because he's like, you'd be better off without me in your life, and I'm like, no, I won't be better off with you not in my life, and then I go off trying to find him, and it's like, well, I wish these dreams would stop. I wish they would go away, because I don't need him in my life anymore. I don't want him in my life anymore. That's why I moved away, and I blocked him. I cut contact with him. I've blocked him on every social media platform that I am in, that I know that he has an account in, which is Twitch and Discord and Instagram, and yeah, as well as Facebook. Are there more K's? No, I don't have more K's. Okay. J. I know I don't have more J's. This is it for J. Yeah. But I am getting close to being finished this. Yay! As you can see, I've just about done this section, and then I'm going to move on to another thin strip of a section like this. I actually find this, doing strip sections like this, actually, I find I can handle sections like this, because it's just wide enough that I can go up and down like this with the tray. Doesn't matter the size of the tray either, and I'm not like, my hand is always on the release papers, so I don't have to worry about accidentally touching the stick. Yeah. Oh, wait, that's the little N. I need the big N. Capital N. Yeah. Yeah, there are times when I wish, like, I could just, like, sit my butt down and write out my dreams, because my dreams would make awesome movies. Certain dreams would make awesome movies. Other dreams, naughty. Yeah. And then some are just really, really disturbing. Yeah. But I don't wake up, like, I know some of you have mentioned having nightmares, waking up from nightmares. Nightmares don't bother me. Not in the, like, there are times when I have nightmares, but they don't really bother me. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, they just don't really bother me. They don't upset me or disturb me. It's when I have a night terror that scares me awake, and those usually only happen when something really bad is going on in my life, or something really upsetting, or what have you. Honestly, the last time I really had a night terror, like truly had a night terror, was, oh god, this is going back 2014, the night before I moved from my boyfriend's place to the town next door, and moved into the home of the gentleman who is now my current boyfriend. Because the boyfriend that I was with at the time was like, well, being on disability is not enough money to live, not enough money, you need to get a job. And it's like, okay, well, if I can't find a job in town here, he's like, well, you can go to Salmon Arm. Oops. Cat's out of the bag. You can go to the town next door and see about a job there. I'm like, well, yeah, I've got somebody there I've got a friend there that I could probably rent a room at his place. He's like, yeah, I'll do it. Okay. So I did. And, well, not long after I moved, my boyfriend broke up with me. He's like, yeah, I can't do these long distance relationships. And I had issues with that particular guy anyways. Just, yeah, he hurt me emotionally too many times. So, I'm actually glad he's not in my life either anymore. There are a few that are like that. I'm glad they're not in my life anymore. And then there are a few like my high school sweetheart, my ex-boyfriend mechanic. I'm glad that he's in my life because he's one of the good ones. He's a great guy. Unfortunately, he has a tendency of cheating on in his relationships. Yeah. And that's a whole other bag of worms to sift through. Anyways, as you can see, I'm done this section. Oh my goodness. So let me see here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I could do this in like 4 more sections. So yeah. In the meantime, yeah, I think I'm gonna widen this strip actually. So in the meantime, yeah. In the meantime, yeah. See what I said? See what I mean about 4 strips? I could do it in 4 strips. Yeah. Making weird noises, I know. Gotta get that line just right. There. Okay. So, anyways, I'm gonna go. So, I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Oh, yeah. Don't forget, like, subscribe, leave a comment. I love reading comments, and I try to respond to comments. But yeah, like and subscribe. Don't forget. And hit that bell notification so you can get reminded of further uploads. In the morning, Sunday, Serious Sunday, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 11 a.m. Indiana time. That is also what time? 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4 p.m. UK England time work. Yeah. So, okay.